Hey guys, Charlene Ortiz here. I just wanted to do a real quick video today because I haven't had a chance to upload anything since my last video. Unfortunately, I got a really bad flu for the past couple weeks, and so I haven't really been able to do anything. And I'm still kind of dealing with it a little, but I'm feeling a lot better. I know I wanted to do an exercise video for my next one, which I promise will definitely be the next one. Will be an exercise video, some real basic movements that you guys can do at home, and I will be uploading that this week for sure. But I just wanted to talk about a topic that a lot of us have dealt with in our lives that I recently have had to deal with. I just wanted to share my story with you and just how I personally have dealt with it and am dealing with it myself. And I wanted to talk about disappointments and when certain opportunities come our way, or a relationship, or just anything in life that we were kind of putting our hopes up for, or something that was really important to us, and just ended up being a total dud and totally not working out. And I just wanted to share about a recent job that I applied for a few weeks ago. Actually, it's been about a month now, I guess. But my husband and I just recently moved here, and I haven't been in a real hurry to find a job because I kind of want to focus more on my videos. But I was going through Craigslist, and I found a job for a fitness director for a small fitness studio that was all women. And I thought it would be a really perfect fit for me because I knew if I were to start working here in Vegas, I didn't want to do the typical corporate personal trainer job that I was doing before, that I would want to have a management position, but I didn't want to work full time because I'm just health-wise, I'm just not there yet where I can commit to a full-time job. And what management position is going to be part-time? You know, it just doesn't exist. And so I was just browsing. I obviously just wasn't planning on seeing anything. I just wanted to see what was out there, what type of jobs were there for the fitness industry. So anyway, I found this one for a management position, and it said part-time in the ad. And so I contacted them, and I sent them my resume and thought, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see if maybe they get back to me, and if not, that's okay, you know. So I did send out my resume and my information. And the next day I got an email from the CFO, I believe. And she asked if I had time to do a Skype interview that afternoon. I said, absolutely. So we did a Skype interview. It didn't last very long, but it went really well. At least I thought it did. And I started feeling like, wow, this seems like a cool company to work for. And I definitely like to learn more about it. So she asked me to go and check out a class at the studio that I would be working for. So it's about maybe 15-20 minute drive. And so I went to go check out the class. And it was a small class, a very small group of women. The instructor was good. The class was okay. I definitely, as soon as I walked into the studio, right away saw why the studio wasn't doing well, just because of the decor, the way it was painted. It just was not a very inviting environment or place that I would personally want to join. And so the instructor was good for the class, but I've seen really, really amazing and well-organized classes be taught in the past. And so, like, for example, I used to work for Extreme Boot Camp in La Cañada outside of LA. And that company, it was led by or owned by a woman named Linda Tay, and it is just the most amazing Group X class that anybody could participate in. It's very well organized. The instructors are incredibly professional, totally badass. And so anyway, she had a very high standard, you know, for the way that her classes were taught. So I'm used to seeing, you know, excellence in a lot of group exercise classes. So this class was just okay, you know, compared to what I was used to seeing. But the women who were taking it really seemed to enjoy it. And so I certainly saw a lot of potential because the instructor really loved what she was doing. She really seemed to be sincere and really loved working for the people that owned the studio, and the women loved it. So I definitely saw a tremendous amount of potential that this place could really do well if they did have the right director, the right manager. Anyway, after that, I interviewed with the owners of that particular franchise, and it was a really great interview. And I felt like it was more of a consult than it was an interview, with me kind of telling them just the different things that I would do to make the club better, and the things I've learned throughout the past 20 years I've been in the industry. It wasn't a typical interview where they ask you, why do you think you'd be good for this company? What's your strength? Just a typical interview. It wasn't really like that. However, it was a really great meeting. They were great women, very professional, very educated, and they are business owners of their own. One was a dentist, and one was a lawyer. So these are definitely very smart, very sharp women, and they just didn't have the time to invest into their studio to really make it great. And so they needed someone like me, or a manager, to come in and kind of help pick up the slack for where they can't put in the time and the energy. So my interview with them went really well. And then after that, we had arranged an interview with the CEO of the company and the CFO over Skype, as well as the interviews of the franchise. And so I went in a third time to the studio for that interview. And from what I felt, it went great. The CEO really seemed to like me. She just kept raving about, oh, I love your energy. You have such a great story. I'm just really, encouraged that you really seem to be interested in our company, and we'd love to see you grow with us, and blah, 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 blah. And there was the only issue that was brought up was the fact that I couldn't teach at 5:30 in the morning. I just can't do that schedule anymore. But she said, but you know what? We'll work something out. We'll work with your schedule since you have fibromyalgia. It won't be that many hours at first, which was perfect. And I walked away from that interview just feeling super confident. And they said, we will definitely get back to you in the next day or two. We just have to go through our finances and see what we're going to be able to afford to pay you. And so I think most of us that, that have been through a job interview, we know when it hasn't gone well. We've all been through those interviews where you walk away, you're like, all right, well, I didn't get that one. This definitely was not the case at all. This interview I walked away from there looking forward to hearing from them in the next day or two. Thinking, wow, this is going to be a great opportunity. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't even expecting it. Everything's just gone smooth, and everyone I've interviewed with has just really liked me, and I just felt so great about it. Well, a couple days went by, I never heard from them. A week went by, 2 weeks went by, and now it's been a month. And obviously after the first week, I assumed, okay, I guess they weren't interested. And I was really disappointed and angry. And it wasn't necessarily because of that specific job, but because I felt like I was being bullshitted by these people. If you're not interested in hiring me, number one, don't build me up, and tell me how wonderful and perfect I am during the interview. Number two, don't just care to not communicate with me at all when the interview is over, just to let me know that you're no longer interested in my services or hiring me. It would have taken, there were 4 women there. So out of those 4 women, not one of them could have taken the time to email me and say, hey, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate you coming in for the interviews, which I went up there 3 times. But just to send me a message saying, it's not going to work out, or we can't afford it, or we moved our business to China. I don't know. They could have made something up. But I just thought it was incredibly disrespectful. And I was really disappointed, and I was angry. I was angry because I felt like these women just led me on, wasted my time. I don't know if they were knowingly wasting my time the whole time, and to them it was just something fun to do. Let's waste somebody's time. I don't know. I can't imagine that that was their intention. But for whatever reason, as soon as I got to the CEO, maybe there was just something about me she didn't like, and that's fine. But I would have at least appreciated some kind of response from them saying that they're just not interested in working with me, and I would have respected that. So I never heard from them, and no, I didn't contact them because I felt like, I think I made it very clear that I'm interested, and if they wanted me to work there, they would contact me, and they said they were going to contact me. And so anyway, I'm not in desperate need for a job right now or anything. So again, it wasn't really the job per se, but it was the fact that this is not the first time I've encountered people that basically were talking out of their ass and didn't mean anything they said. Or maybe they did at the time, but changed their mind and didn't bother to communicate with me. So it's already happened to me several times where I've met people and, they'll tell me, oh, you're so awesome, you're so talented, you're so this and that. Let me work with you, let me help you, with your business, with your book, with your whatever. And it goes nowhere. And I call them duds. They just end up being complete duds. People that are just talking out of their ass. Again, I don't know if their intention is to get my hopes up and then to discourage me, or if they really meant, I don't know. We don't really know what people's real intentions are. But the point is that I think a lot of us have encountered situations like that. Maybe some of us more than others. And again, it could be a job opportunity. It could be a relationship that you thought was going really well and just kind of fizzled out and you're not really sure what happened. It could be even your own health, that you've been very healthy and strong for a long time and bam, you got hit with some kind of chronic illness like I have, or fibromyalgia or what have you, or a car accident. But we've all been through disappointments in life, and we've all been through situations where something that was important to us didn't work out. And it's really devastating, and it can really do a lot of damage to our confidence, to our self-esteem, and it can make it harder for us to continue to have hope for the next opportunity, and it can make it hard for us to want to try. And I just want to encourage you that we all go through it. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because, you're a loser or you don't have anything to contribute. The only thing I could say, or maybe there are just areas in your life, that you need to grow in. Like maybe you do need to get more education in a certain field, or maybe there's certain character issues that you've noticed people have been a little turned off by, and you have to reflect and recognize that. But that's different than putting yourself down and just seeing yourself as a loser. I'm useless, I'm pathetic, I'm never going to get a good job, I'm never going to get a boyfriend, I'm never going to be healthy, I'm always going to be pathetic. So there's a big difference between having a good, healthy critique of oneself than putting yourself down and bashing yourself. I don't know why I didn't get this job. I really thought I would have been a great candidate, but for whatever reason, they didn't think so. So I could let that tear me apart and eat me up inside and, just see myself as a loser and pathetic. And or I could just let it go and say, it just wasn't meant to be. And maybe it would have ended up being a really horrible job that I would have hated. Who knows? But I decided after that interview, and I didn't hear from them, that I was finally going to dedicate the time and energy I've been wanting to dedicate for a long time to doing YouTube videos for you guys. To do like sharing personal stories and just how I get through tough times in my life, exercises, information, education, and stuff to help you guys with your challenges, whether it be emotional or physical, or whatever type of illnesses or disabilities or limitations you deal with. So yeah, that's what I decided. I'm just going to focus on that. It's definitely not something that's going to be bringing in money right away, or maybe not at all. I don't know. Who knows? This job obviously would have brought in some income right away. But anyway, so I just decided I'm just going to pursue my YouTube ventures and just, make that my part-time job for right now. And so it makes me think about a law, a universal law. There are certain universal laws that some people follow or hold to or get guidance from. The same way, if you're a Christian, you go to the Bible, or Muslim, you go to the Quran, or a Jew, you might go to the Torah, or whatever it is. Everybody has, their guidebook or whatever that they go to for encouragement and for insight, enlightenment. But one of the things that I like to go to is the 50 universal laws, and they're esoteric spiritual laws. And one law is called the law of detachment. And the law of detachment basically talks about separating yourself from every situation and not judging it as being negative or positive. And that's really hard to do, because it's easy, when we're doing well in life, we're experiencing success and good things. It's easy, to feel good about that and to judge that, well, this is a good thing, this is a good experience, but not to judge our negative experiences, like losing a job or a boyfriend or a spouse, or whatever tragedies a lot of us have had to deal with in life. It's very difficult not to judge those situations as being bad. But in reality, there is meant to be a balance in life. And some of you out there might be feeling right now, well, the balance is like this for me, where this is bad and this is the good. And I completely understand that. And what I've learned personally is that when my life is way out of balance in this aspect, where the bad is here and the good is here, it's something about my mindset and the way that I'm responding to things that's keeping everything at this level. And I need to reevaluate myself, my perspective on my situations and my experiences, so I can, get back to a more balanced state. And that's what the law of detachment talks about, that we need to emotionally detach ourselves from the negativity of a situation. Now, it doesn't mean you're a robot and you don't respond emotionally, when you do go through some sort of disappointment or tragedy. Of course, we do respond. Of course, we do have an emotional response to it. However, we have to be able to stay clear-minded and grounded enough that we don't completely lose ourselves into it. And so, we're human beings. We can't detach our emotions from every situation in our life. However, we can decide how we're going to respond to a situation. And so, for example, and this is actually the second time I've gone for a management position for a company and didn't get it. And although initially I was discouraged and disappointed, I couldn't stay stuck there. I had to pull myself out of it. And just, again, I can't judge it as this is really, really bad, this is really, really good, because our good and bad experiences shape who we are. And it helps us to be more well-rounded. It helps us to learn and grow in our character. And so for all of you watching this right now, whatever type of disappointment that you're going through in life, any type of tragedy that you've recently experienced, first of all, I just want to say that I'm really sorry, for any pain, that you're suffering right now. And I'm really sorry that you have to go through this. And I don't understand a lot of times why certain things have to happen and we have to experience it. I don't get it. I wish I had an answer to understand some of the stuff I've had to go through. But, for certain things in life, we're not going to get an answer. We're never going to get a why. And you just have to deal with the situation and just move on and let it go. People are going to hurt you. They're not going to apologize. There'll be things that are going to be bad, that are going to happen to you, and you won't get justice for it. You won't get an apology. You won't get righted your wrong. You might, get scammed and never get your money back. Who knows? Who knows? We all have our stories of what's happened to us, but you can't hold on to all the negative experiences in your life and just assume that that's going to continue to be your life. And you just have to let go and trust that there's better opportunities. Not trust, but know that there's better opportunities coming your way. You have to really know it. And I am a true believer that our perspective and the way that we look at life and the way that we judge our experiences will determine what our future experiences will be like. And I am a true believer that, you know, depending on the type of energy or vibration or frequency we emit out there, whether it's high or low, positive or negative, it's going to come back to us and just keep bringing us back the same situations until we learn how to respond to it in a way that is healthy and in a way where we're able to just learn from an experience, accept it for what it is, and then, you know, move forward at some point and be hopeful that the next experience is going to be a lot better. And it also teaches you to look for signs. It teaches you how to recognize red flags. And when it also teaches you to pay attention to your intuition. We can avoid a lot of bad experiences if we listen to our intuition most of the time. But when we're emotional, when we're caught in bitterness and anger and self-defeat and you know, bashing ourselves, and we can't hear our intuition because it's clouded with all that negativity. So that's why you have to flush that out of your mind. And, you know, you have to have a sober mind, sober judgment, so you can hear that intuition. So when you meet that guy that might, you know, devastate you later, you'll see the signs. You'll see things about him where you'll hear that intuition. You'll be clear-minded because you're not thinking with your emotions. You're thinking more with your intuition. And you'll see the signs early on. So you can say, you know what? You know, this is kind of similar to what happened to me last time. I'm seeing the same patterns. I'm not liking, I'm not comfortable. And you can let it go early on. You know, and the same with any situation in life. Again, whether it's a job or, you know, whether it's relationship with a family member, you know, whatever it is, or just relationship with a friend, we can kind of foresee things when we're in touch with our intuition and kind of listen to that voice to protect us and tell us, you know what, this isn't really the right direction to go down. Maybe we need to take a step back and reevaluate, you know, and see if this is the right thing for me. And so when you're clear-minded, again, you'll hear that intuition and it will save you a lot of heartache. So anyway, guys, since it's been so long since I uploaded a video, I wanted to, you know, at least share something that I went through recently and how I've dealt with it. And, you know, we're all going through it. We're all going through the battle of life. And I know a lot of times we can feel isolated and alone when we're going through challenges and hard times and disappointments. And when we're physically and emotionally ill, we can feel very isolated, but we're really not, you know, that we're really not. There's a lot of people out there that are going through it too. So hang in there, guys. Every single one of you is awesome. Every single one of you has something that you're here for to contribute. And every single one of you has value. And most likely a lot more value than you give yourself credit for. So, all right. So again, I promise my next video is going to be an exercise video. In the meantime, take care of yourself. You know, make sure you protect yourself physically and emotionally. And I will see you guys again in my next video. And thanks a lot for tuning in.